So you sort of, as you're twisting, you're trying to also gently pull it out. So you're kind of trying to unscrew it. It's the goal anyway. Alright, so pulled this off. Tips, loosen this, crack it before you take it off. That's when the fixing screws for the brake pads. Crack this as well, which holds your line, and then be careful as you do it, because this .4 fluid is nasty and you want to not get it on any paint surfaces. Don't think it impacts too much on pad calipers. They use a different paint, but the paint on your bike or car or whatever you're doing your brakes on, it won't like that. So run that one out. First of all, I'm going to take out these pads. So that's just, the thing I've learned is this bike has had a very rough life, and almost every single thing that just needs to be nipped tight and being cranked tight, sort of really everything's back to the front, if that makes sense. Probably gonna be a metric, maybe. So 5mm, I'm going to get one with more torque. You can get something that's got more length on it, you're going to get more torque. If it's shorter, you're not going to get the same leverage. Oh, like I say, this certainly is it's in tight. There we go. So this essentially secures the pads. It just slides through these holes, and they're nibbed. They tuck in. The pads themselves look pretty good, so I might just clean them up, reuse those ones rather than putting new ones on. I'm trying to keep down the amount of replacements and bits on this build, but so this is a good tool, sort of, I call it a specialist tool or not, but essentially it pushes back against the pistons and they're not really moving that much, which they should at least go back in, and they should go back in fairly easily because there's no oil pressure pushing you against them. So I'm using brake cleaner now on the pads themselves. So there was a large amount of debris and brake dust built up along with other grime which had accumulated over a substantial amount of time. So I first am breaking down each individual component. I've ordered a rebuild kit once I pulled it apart to make sure I ordered the correct kit. So I will wash and clean each of these bits as an individual. I hope to not retrace my steps on this one once I've rebuilt it. I hope to not have to touch the front brake. So I saw this piston technique for extraction, which I'll put a link for in the description below, but essentially you use an internal compression of a socket and you make it so that it actually unscrews as such by creating an internal pressure. So I'll put a link for the description to the guy that I got that technique and method from. I do not claim that it's mine. I didn't invent it. I didn't want to buy another tool for this specific purpose and never to use it again. So in the rebuild kit you get seals as well as other peripherals, which I will replace on all of these. As you see, the amount of grime and build up that I had to deal with was making it a challenge. So with the second piston, it took me a lot of work to try and get it out. It was very seized in, which made a lot of effort. I don't think the other compressed air methods would have worked because there was so much dislove that the actual pressure would not have pushed through based off my own unit that I own. The mud-like substance that you can see in the chamber itself would have been contributing to the spongy and non-responsiveness of the brakes, as you can see. So I scrubbed up the caliper and I got it ready for the rebuild kit to arrive. The key with the caliper kits is to make sure that the piston size is correct for the seals to ensure that the dust protection also happens. These seals were quite worn and weathered as they had quite a rough life. All the parts and products used in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions or questions about the bike or the build, chuck it in the comments. And while you're there, punch the subscribe button. Make sure that the bell notification is there so you can join me on the journey. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.